What if I told you that there exists a cosmic network containing the secrets of the universe, past lives, and hidden knowledge? And what if you could access this network, unlocking its secrets and tapping into its power? The Akashic Records has intrigued philosophers, spiritualists, and truth seekers for centuries. But the problem is that it's been explained in a vague, mystical way. But today, we're going to change all of that by uncovering the true nature of the Akashic Records simply and rationally, and revealing how you can unlock its hidden secrets. But first, make sure you like and subscribe, as I'll be releasing more hidden knowledge on my channel and you won't find it anywhere else. And if you feel like you've learned something from my work, support on Patreon to get access to secret videos every week. You can also support by hitting the join button right below this video. Before we can reveal the true nature of the Akashic Records and the key to accessing them, it's important to understand the concept itself in more detail. See, the Akashic Records has been described as a cosmic library or database containing the collective knowledge and experiences of every mind that has ever existed. You can think of it kind of like the cosmic internet of the entire universe. Just like the internet is a vast network of interconnected information, the Akashic Records holds the information of everything in existence. But the question is, how do you access that information? With the internet, you can just Google it, but how do you access the universal network of reality itself? Throughout history, spiritual seekers have claimed to tap into the Akashic Records through meditation, astral projection, and even psychic readings. However, critics and skeptics argue that the Akashic Records are nothing more than a fantasy and a delusion. So which is it? I'm an ex-Christian. I grew up indoctrinated into religion, and since leaving it behind, my life has been all about discovering truth. So when exploring a concept like the Akashic Records, we don't want to just believe in it blindly and get trapped in a delusion. So many people today are leaving religion only to put their blind faith in spirituality and mysticism. We want to discover the truth and understand it rationally. So first of all, where the hell did this concept come from? The concept of the Akashic Records can be traced back to the Sanskrit word akasa, and akasha is used in ancient Eastern religions like Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism. In Vedantic Hinduism, akasha refers to the primary, all-pervading essence of all things, which is believed to be the foundation of material existence. But how we understand the concept of the Akashic Records today was actually popularized in the Western world by Helena Blavatsky, a Russian occultist and the founder of the Theosophical Society. Blavatsky claimed that the Akashic Records could be accessed by certain gifted individuals who could then use this knowledge to gain insight into past lives, future events, and the inner workings of the universe. The occultist Alice Bailey wrote, "The Akashic Record is like an immense photographic film registering all the desires and earth experiences of our planet. Those who perceive it see pictured thereon the life experiences of every human being since time began, the reactions to experience of the entire animal kingdom, the aggregation of thought forms of a karmic nature of every human unit throughout time." Now, central to the idea of the Akashic Records is the concept of past lives and reincarnation. Proponents of this belief argue that our souls are eternal, journeying through countless lives and experiences in order to grow and learn. The Akashic Records then are said to contain the memories and experiences of each of these past lives, offering a window into our soul's history and an opportunity for deep self-discovery. Now, we can see that this idea is rooted in ancient religions, the occult, and today it's been adopted by New Age spirituality. So the question is it just a bunch of nonsense? Well, what if I told you that philosophy, science, and psychology agree, and that we can understand it rationally? Let me explain. So just what are the Akashic Records and how can they be accessed? To understand this, we must turn to the work of Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, who proposed the idea of the collective unconscious. Now, the collective unconscious is a vast reservoir of shared knowledge and experiences that are common to all human beings, a storehouse of archetypes, symbols, and memories that shape our thoughts, dreams, and behaviors. Sound familiar? Carl Jung said, "The collective unconscious is common to all. It is the foundation of what the ancients called the sympathy of all things." And the collective unconscious contains the whole spiritual heritage of mankind's evolution. The collective unconscious, which is a storehouse of information of humankind's evolution that each one of us has access to, is strikingly similar to the Akashic Records, a cosmic library containing the collective wisdom and experiences of humanity. But how do we explain this rationally? The explanation given by materialists, those who believe that reality is material and that's it, posit that this information of the collective unconscious is stored in our brains due to evolution. The problem with this view is that it's actually not rational because the physical brain fails to account for consciousness itself. In fact, quantum mechanics shows that reality is not based on matter at all, but on waves, energy, frequency. Cognitive scientist Donald Hoffman said, "Consciousness didn't emerge from a prior physical process of evolution. Consciousness is fundamental, and so we have to rethink the whole history of the universe from this point of view, from the Big Bang up through evolution. We have to rethink it in terms of how to rewrite that story consistent with all of our current science, but understanding that consciousness is fundamental, not the physical universe." Founder of quantum mechanics, Max Planck, said, "As a man who has devoted his whole life to the most clear-headed science, to the study of matter, I can tell you as a result of my research about atoms this much. There is no matter as such. Mind is the matrix of all matter." The physicist Erwin Schrödinger said, "Consciousness cannot be accounted for in physical terms, for consciousness is absolutely fundamental. It cannot be accounted for in terms of anything else." Not only does quantum mechanics shows that reality is not material, it also reveals that reality is non-local and interconnected. But what does that mean? Well, quantum entanglement and non-locality can be compared to a video game world and the programming code. Imagine human characters in that video game world. Now, originally, those characters believed that only the video game world existed and that's it. But then they discovered that the code exists. They realize there's a whole new domain, the domain of the programming code. And that's what allows the game to run and connects everything in the game together. Well, likewise, the material world is not all that exists. Behind the scenes is a mathematical code of frequency, of mind, that connects everything together and allows the material world to exist. Even though it might seem like you and I are separate, we're actually connected through the domain of frequency that's behind everything. In truth, we aren't our bodies either. We're actually eternal minds, eternal beings of frequencies, of mathematical information that use these bodies, like avatars in the game, to explore the material world. See, the brain and the senses are like a VR headset that give us the experience of a material world, even though what we truly are beings of frequencies. Erwin Schrödinger said, "We do not belong to this material world that science constructs for us. We are not in it. We are outside. We are only spectators. The reason why we believe that we're in it, that we belong to the picture, is that our bodies are in the picture. Our bodies belong to it. Not only my own body, but those of my friends, and also of my dog and cat and horse, and of all the other people and animals. And this is my only means of communicating with them. We are not our material bodies. We are not our brains. That idea is outdated, and it's going to be laughed at in the future." Physicist Nathan Seberg said, "I am almost certain that space and time are illusions. These are primitive notions that will be replaced by something more sophisticated." And Donald Hoffman said, "Physics and evolution point to the same conclusion. Space-time and objects are not foundational. Something else is more fundamental, and space-time emerges from it." What we truly are eternal beings of frequencies, of mind, that are all connected and contain a vast reservoir of information. This frequency domain, which is generated by the eternal source, contains all our past lives, memories, and experiences, not just of humanity and Earth, but of all existence. The human brain is not what we are. The brain acts as a filter that limits and conditions us as eternal minds so that we can focus on survival on this planet. The brain evolved so we could survive, not to show us truth. Aldous Huxley said, "To make biological survival possible, mind at large has to be funneled through the reducing valve of the brain and nervous system. What comes out at the other end is a measly trickle of the kind of consciousness which will help us to stay alive on the surface of this particular planet." Just like a video game world, the vast domain of the code exists behind the scenes, and it connects us and contains all the information information of existence. But, also like a video game, the game character is limited and can't access the code. Our physical bodies have evolved to keep us focused on the material world and limit our access to the frequency domain. It did this to ensure that we could survive. So how do we gain access to this domain? Well, the key lies in intuition and reason and the hemispheres of the brain. Let me explain. The left hemisphere of the brain is a linear processing system that keeps us tuned to the material world, while the right hemisphere is a holistic system that accesses our personal unconscious and the collective unconscious. Intuitive states like meditation can allow us to temporarily bypass the left hemisphere and access our personal unconscious and the collective unconscious. This is why when we're zoning out, when we're going for a walk or taking a shower, we can have sudden flashes of intuition. We've temporarily gained greater access to the unconscious due to entering that meditative-like state. Psychedelics are also powerful tools that allow us to access the personal unconscious and deep layers of the collective unconscious. This is why many people report encounters with beings or see fractal-like imagery. Now remember, don't do anything dangerous or illegal. Psychedelics are not necessary. Dream work is another way we can gain access to deep layers of reality. But remember, this is not easy. Literally all of evolution has worked towards keeping us focused on the material world, what's right in front of us, not on the frequency domain. But here's the key. All of those methods that I just mentioned are about cultivating intuition and having intuitive experiences. Most New Agers and spiritualists, they end there. But that's not enough. You must also use reason to integrate that information. The information that we receive in those states are chaotic, disorganized, and symbolic, a lot like a dream. We have to use reason to evaluate, filter, and integrate that information into a picture of reality that makes sense. Most spiritualists today don't do that, and that's why you get some absolutely crazy ideas in New Age circles, and New Age is becoming a new religion. This is why I don't use the term Akashic Records, because it comes with so much baggage and a lot of crazy ideas. See, New Age spiritualism doesn't have the answers, but neither does materialist science. That is outdated. The truth is that we can understand the metaphysical realm rationally. With the same precision that science understands the physical realm, we can understand the metaphysical realm. And it's time for a new science of mind. Intuition and reason are both key. Intuition is what allows us to access the realm of the unconscious, the frequency domain that connects us all together. And reason is what allows us to take that information, evaluate it, filter it, and organize it into a coherent picture of reality. We can start to build a new world based on a new understanding of existence right now. We have the power to do it, and it's time for a change. Embrace the power within you to intuitively access your personal unconscious and the collective unconscious, and rationally develop your understanding of the metaphysical realm. By harmoniously combining intuition and reason, you can transform yourself, and we can transform the world. The key to unlocking your full potential and the secret of the universe lies within you and all of us. But leave a comment below, tell me what you think, and check out my other video on how quantum mechanics proves ancient hidden knowledge.